any opinions and things. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. And then on Access Vegas, it's one of these things where, all these panel shows like Whatever and Fresh and Fit. The thing that makes my show different is that I know all the girls. So when they come out there, like this one girl, she was on and she goes, yeah, I'm a sapiosexual, meaning like she only likes guys who are smart. And I'm like, I know your 2 ex-boyfriends. They're a male stripper, okay, and a VIP host. You're lying. You don't like.
lying.
And it's like, stop capping on my show. And then she's like, okay, you're right. That's what
my gosh.
That's what makes it a little different. Is that like a lot of the girls on the show. And before, I had my girlfriend. I had dated some of the girls that were on the show, but we keep it a secret. And so I know so much about them that the show is a little different.
Who keeps it a secret?
I do. I don't tell anybody who it's. Rule number 6 in MOA: nobody needs to know who you're fucking. That's
Wait, hold on. How many rules
that.
do you have?
there's 6 rules.
You said rule number 6.
Wait,
Never.
can
I
you
gotta
hear
write that
Yeah,
one.
can you go over the rules for
Yeah,
us?
start with rule number 1.
Yeah.
What's rule number
Rule
1?
number-
Let me write these down.
Rule number one. Rule number
I
one.
have my pen. I'm ready.
Rule number 1 is we do not listen to the words. We only pay attention to people's actions. So, like, if somebody comes to me and they're like,
I like that
my
one.
girlfriend did this, and I did this, and then she
Yeah.
did this, and I'm like, okay, let's do that whole thing again, and then just take out all the words, and then it's like, yeah, she just didn't show up last night. It's like, yeah, you see how much easier it is when you just take out the words. If you just pay attention to people's words. I also, a lot of people in this red pill space, they have all these prescriptions for men and like none for women, other than like, don't fuck a bunch of dudes. Like, that's the only prescription they have. And my prescription for women is, if a man wants to have sex with you, he has sex with you. If a man wants to marry you, he marries you. If a man wants to be in a relationship with you, he'll be in a relationship with you.
Right.
If a man wants to be faithful, he'll be faithful. We're not confusing like women are. We don't have to play these games. None of this stuff happens. We have options, but not as many as you. So if a man does a thing, that's what he wants to do. His intentions are usually very clear. And so when to explain to people, like, I don't listen to their words. I only pay attention to their actions. And a lot of times what you'll find is that people who have either like scam someone, or a woman who is trying to reform her life. She's like, a great example is when a woman says, I absolutely will not have sex with a guy on a first date, and she gets like really upset about it. What does that mean? What does
I
that
mean,
tell
she's
you?
had
She
sex
wants-
with plenty of guys
It
on the
means she's
first
fucked a
date.
bunch of guys on the
That
first
means
date.
Yes.
she's played and she's
Yes.
putting the medicine
Yep.
in,
Yeah.
trying not to be a whore.
I
Yeah,
test
exactly.
drive the car before I buy it, so I don't know.
Right, but you're
I love it, Allie.
but you're not capping, like, you're
Yeah,
owning
no.
it. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So you pay attention to the words, or don't pay attention to the words, pay attention to people's actions. Rule number 2 is all human behaviors explained through evolutionary psychology. And so this is a study that comes from evolutionary biology in the 1970s. And basically this is the idea that natural selection didn't just cause our bodies to be this way, right? We're descendants of Australopithecus and whoever, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, but also our brains did. So everything, like, there was a point in history, maybe 70,000 years ago, where there's maybe 50,000 people on the planet. And every single proclivity that we have as humans would have aided in survival. So we, as men, we like facial symmetry, hip to waist ratio, signs of youth. Where does that come from? It's our ancestors would have sex with women who look like that, and instead of having sex with women with deformed faces or
Yeah.
morbidly overweight,
Yeah,
things like
I get that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
all of us generally, and if there's a few exceptions, but all of us generally, if you held us over a balcony, we'd freak out because we have a fear of heights. We generally have a fear of snakes. We generally have a fear of spiders. We generally have a fear of sharks. Where does this come from? Our ancestors.
Survival.
You don't have to teach people that, right? But like, but so we understand. The concept was always understood when it came to like deer, right? When deer come out of their mothers, they're immediately able to walk, like immediately, right? Well, so how are they able to walk? Well, there must have been some programming in there naturally. So that means evolution.
I didn't even know that, and I'm from
Yeah, they
Michigan.
can. They definitely can.
Like
I
shit.
didn't know that they come out
Definitely
walking.
can. They
The bel-
definitely
I
do.
didn't know that
The belief
either.
previously, before the 1970s, was that evolution only mattered from the neck down, and now we understand that evolution also matters from the neck up. So rule number 2 is evolutionary psychology explains all human behavior. Rule number 3 is abundance is always the answer, unless you have a heroin addiction. Then it's not the answer. But for the most part, abundance is the action. If your girlfriend's acting up, she needs to know you have the ability to meet other women. For women, do this all the time to men. When men act up, women let them know.
Fine, we're just gonna go to somebody else.
For sure. So abundance is again, if I have $50 million in my job at what I go to work and my boss is being mean to me, I have $50 million. I'm not going to put up with shit. So abundance is the answer. Rule number 4 is social media is fake, and I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah,
We just talked about that.
Because-
today.
Definitely fake.
Because the money's real. And then rule number 5 is
that part.
we don't talk shit about people behind their back. If someone's making more money
good
than
one.
us, that means that they're just playing the game of business better than us. So we need to learn from them, right? Even if the game they're playing is they're selling crack, like they're doing something, right? Have you ever read Hustle Harder by 50 Cent?
Of course.
Half the book is a comparison between him working at A&R, the record company, and the other half is him selling crack in Queens. And he's like, that's these leadership components in the book about selling crack cocaine in Queens. But it's genius.
I didn't even know he was an A&R.
Yeah, so that's one of the best things. I tell people this all the time. So they were delaying his album release, and what he did is he negotiated with the company. He said, "Here's what I want. I want to be an intern for the executives of the company." And he did that, and that's how he started his own company. He chose, instead of payment, in lieu of payment, he chose education, and that's the reason why he's he's a billionaire now, or almost a
Yeah,
billionaire.
and a lot of people don't realize 50 Cent, he don't drink, he don't party,
Yeah.
he don't do any of that
Exactly.
stuff, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
And then rule number 6 is you don't need to qualify to yourself or qualify to anyone else. No one needs to know how much money you make or who you're fucking. That's rule number 6. That comes from the 10 Crack Commandments by Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
Hey, and there, hey, look at
One
there's
of
my
the
new
best.
there's my new Biggie, by the way.
Hey.
Your little guy I got. But no, that's a good one. But I mean, I don't believe people in Vegas follow number 6. I mean,
Of course not.
No.
I don't think they follow none of them.
the one I like the watching people. I tend to do that. Well, I mean, it's just like still even with a friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend. They broke up. They're gonna tell you their story, but it's like I know you and I know that person, so you don't have to tell me.
I'm never getting back with them. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going back to school. I like these words. I'm like, if you wouldn't, if you believe this, then you wouldn't state these things emphatically. You would just do them.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing I explain to my clients. I'm like, everyone in my program understands that the world in here, you have to keep your word, and everything we do is scientific. Outside the program, everyone is just going to lie to you. They believe in astrological signs and energy and this fucking secret, and they don't do
that's
anything.
real
And they
too.
don't do any work, and then they expect the world to just like come along to
It
it.
sounds like the Illuminati.
Well, I mean,
or a stripper.
hey, can you turn me down? Am I right here? Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
What number are you on the side? You by the way?
Should be right here on this
On the
side.
side. 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I can
Beautiful.
turn them down a little.
No, the mic's fine. It's the headphones.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
you. All right, cool. So yeah, go on. What were you saying? Keep it moving.
No, I mean, it's just the idea
No.
that the rule number 1 is rule number 1 because that's the one guys get the most wrong. They'll come on one of my coaching calls. We had Bilzerian on a couple weeks ago. Dan Bilzerian came on. And we were talking, and it's really interesting because he has this one saying. He goes, if you talk to a girl and she tells you that she's slept with 3 dudes, you're like most of us
Add a
men.
0 to that.
Yeah, most of us as men, we know it's probably 6, maybe 10, and we're not really faulting her for it because we understand that women are shamed for their body count. We get that. But if a woman tells you she slept with 73 guys, you just believe her because she's not going to lie if she says she's
I
fucked
don't
7.
think she would lie.
Yeah, if she says 73, you're like, yeah, it's probably true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So
It's
like
probably 170.
But does
Well, no.
but does it matter? But does it matter?
I mean,
though, how many
when you're
bodies
at
a woman
73,
has?
173 doesn't mean anything.
Allie, what's
Right.
what's Allie's body count?
I lost count a long time ago, y'all.
Yeah, what'd you say on
Are
Fresh
you-
and Fit?
hang on.
1,000
Hey.
million?
Are,
Over
are you over 73?
Way over.
Okay. What do you think about that, Michael? Do you believe that?
I believe that
She's over 73.
I don't-
She's a monster.
I
can
believe she
feel
has.
her-
I believe she
yeah,
has
I
no
can-
incentive to lie because she's not showing any like shame or like.
She don't
She
give a
doesn't.
fuck.
She
Why
doesn't.
would you?
She doesn't care
Right.
that you think the number's high. Is what I'm pointing at.
Are,
Well,
now, are
why
these
should
all,
there be shame?
Are these
though?
all black guys, white guys, Hispanic guys?
I mean, I don't fuck. I fucked like one white guy ever in my life. So they're mostly.
One. Now, hang on. Now, is that the truth? One.
That's a true. I dated a
True.
guy out of high school. He was a drug dealer. White. He had a little. I don't know.
Who? White boy Rick?
No.
I can't.
Wait,
White
you are
boy-
from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
it is white boy Rick. It is white boy Rick.
Straight up.
Exposed.
Straight up.
Exposed now. It is white boy Rick.
You were the one that he was in
Get
Miami that took her watch back or whatever. He's living in
No,
Miami
yeah, but
too.
I lost count, y'all. I lost count. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to have like a little list. I stopped filling it out.